What is up, everybody? Today is all about fertilizer. Got all my switchgrass drilled in yesterday. A lot of the 3-year stuff is already 6 inches tall. I'm behind on fertilizing my fruit trees, behind on fertilizing the switchgrass, but we're here today to get it done. You do not have to fertilize switchgrass. I always do mine every year just because I think it really helps. I mean, it's popping early. Year 2 stuff's chest high on me, and I think it helps. So I do it religiously. 200 pounds an acre is kind of my go-to. I have less than that, so I've got 150 pounds here. Straight urea, 4600. So we're going to get this in a hopper, get all this fertilized. I'm way behind on fertilizing my lawn, fertilizing my fruit trees. So we're going to try to get all that done this weekend, fertilize everything. So let's get this poured in and get this spread. All right, destination plot switchgrass project is a wrap. I got urea on all this stuff. The wheels of the drill kind of make these little grooves as it puts the seed in and covers it up. It settled down into that nicely. Urea is very water soluble. We got rain coming today, Wednesday. We got rain coming Friday, so I think it's perfect timing on this stuff. Even the old switchgrass that I've got that's 3 years old, I spreaded it pretty good. We got enough left in the hopper to go and do the bedding area and the 2 other little kill plots that I drilled in. So 200 pounds an acre. I did 150. I'll show you kind of what the ground needs to look like, what I'll look for. All those white specks, that's straight urea. So this stuff should really be popping. I'm pretty impressed already. I've never mowed my switchgrass before, so I was waiting for a little while till I got a little more mature to do it, but I think it's gonna work out really, really well. A lot of people burn. I've got a lot of brush around my edges, a lot of wood, so I choose just to mow it down. This is the first time I've done it, but looks like the results right now are gonna be astronomical. Pretty excited about extending this thing out. Hopefully I get switchgrass to grow on this west side where I've never had switchgrass growing before. We're going to go over and do the other 2 kill plots and that little bedding area where my old food plot was years ago. Get a little fertilizer on them. So guys, like I said, you do not have to fertilize switchgrass. I've just always done it because I think it gives it a pretty big jump. That being said, if you are going to fertilize where you've planted switchgrass, make sure your weed game is on point, because if you fertilize in the spring and you have not controlled the weeds, guess what? The weeds are going to take over. You can control that with mowing, some spraying of simazine, but I would recommend getting all that stuff killed out before you ever even think about fertilizing, because you fertilize those weeds and it's going to be trouble. The reason I know this is because I've done it. Don't do it. Okay, fertilization is a wrap. This is my old food plot. It's about a 1/4 acre. I planted switchgrass in it 3 years ago. Turns out this is a bedding mecca. Bunch of scrapes, rubs, found 2 sheds in here when I mowed this all down. So I know there's a debate right now about deer bedding and switchgrass because it's a monoculture. And if you have like a ton of land, and you're planting big acreage of switchgrass, I get it. But in this situation, where deer can bed here, and I got plenty of browse around the edge of this thing, I'm telling you, it's a gold mine. I can't really hunt this spot because it's like dead set in the middle of my property. A mistake I made when I did my very first food plot back in 2005 probably. But it got my brain to thinking about getting a dozer next season and pushing out some areas that I have right now that are like unproductive, and making them into these switchgrass areas with some shrubs in the middle, maybe hinge cutting some stuff over in the middle of them and all that stuff, to where I can actually access them and hunt them. Because I can tell you, there's a bunch of, even right now, there's a bunch of deer traffic in here. So something to think about, something I'm kind of learning as we go. I planned this property out 3 years ago, and I'm still kind of learning and figuring it out. So as far as switchgrass and deer not bedding in it, I get the argument that if you have a big field of switchgrass, deer aren't going to bed in it because there's nothing to browse on. They get up and feed. But in this situation, with plenty of browse around the edge of it, I'm telling you, it works. So I may be looking at doing some projects here in the future, pushing out some trees, planting a bunch of switchgrass with some shrubs, edible shrubs in the middle of it, with access where I can hunt over. So something to think about, something I'm probably going to do. This place has kind of proved me wrong. I just did it because it was open land. The soil was right because of years and years and years of tilling and fertilizing and adding to the pH of it. But something to think about. My brain is spinning right now with where I could do this out, how I could do it, how I could access to hunt it. If you got an area like this where you can actually access it, I think it would be good. This one is not good because I cannot access it, but switchgrass is doing good. Got it all fertilized. Gonna run to the house and fertilize the lawn. Let's go. Guys, everything is fertilized. All the switchgrass is fertilized. It's drilled in, it's planted. Hopefully this stuff pops like I think it will. I extended the big plot to the north by about 10 feet, drilled in an area where I could not get switchgrass to grow. It's definitely a labor of love. If you like this kind of content, check us out, the Hunt Experience Podcast. It's on Spotify, Hunt Experience YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, and iTunes. If you want something like this done, some property management stuff, and you don't have the equipment, check out our Whitetail Property Management Facebook page. The number's at the bottom. Give us a call. We'll come out. We'll make a plan. We'll plan a food plot, whatever we need to do for you. We're pretty flexible on that stuff. We did 6 last year, and everybody had success. And the thing that makes me the proudest is like a bunch of youth hunters had success. So that's what it's all about. Guys, thanks for watching.